Flame-swallowing technique? What is that? Noticing the sudden silence of his master, the Devourer of Souls, Xiao Yan shifted his gaze toward the glowing orb, instantly sensing a terrifying wave of energy emanating from within. The intensity of this wave, for Xiao Yan at his current level, would be a catastrophe if he were to touch it. He understood that the fact it could shock a powerhouse like the Devourer of Souls spoke volumes about the rarity and power of this technique. Mid-tier immortal art, flame-swallowing technique. This technique is actually a battle skill that uses the mysterious powers of flame swallowing to absorb the force of flames, significantly enhancing one's strength for a duration of one incense stick. The strength gained is proportional to the user's own flame power and has no after effects. However, remember, only those with a strong fire affinity can cultivate it. If someone of another element tries to cultivate it, they may suffer damage to their origin or even perish. The exchange cost is 10,000 points. A few small, faint words appeared along with a scroll enveloped in flames, slowly emerging from the orb. The scroll was wrapped in an eerie flame-like void, and though its existence was visible, it was untouchable. This was clearly a measure set by the highest authorities to prevent people from exploiting loopholes. It was obvious the scroll existed in the orb, but it was protected by special means. Once Xiao Yan accumulated enough points, he could directly exchange for it. However, Xiao Yan also knew that trying to forcibly grab it would be a fool's errand, for the void flames protecting the scroll could easily reduce him to ashes. Flame-swallowing technique? Isn't this just like the Skyfire 3 mysterious changes? Xiao Yan quickly read the brief description, and before the Devourer of Souls could speak, he exclaimed in delight. The few simple lines describing the flame-swallowing technique immediately caught Xiao Yan's attention. Xiao Yan clearly remembered that the Skyfire 3 mysterious changes inside him could not only trigger his clan's tattoos, but also boost his strength. However, since the technique was of a low level, even when using the power of the sacred flame, the boost in strength was barely noticeable, so Xiao Yan had neglected it, reserving it for situations when his clan tattoos needed to be activated. But now, the flame-swallowing technique was identical to the Skyfire 3 mysterious changes in nature and even ranked as a mid-tier immortal art. For Xiao Yan, it was the perfect battle skill. After all, if he mastered this technique and combined it with the flame mantra and sacred flame inside him, the resulting surge in power would likely be jaw-dropping. Well, what do you think of this? The Devourer of Souls, now calm again, looked at Xiao Yan's smiling face and asked, "This is a treasure. I must get it." Xiao Yan's smile widened, clearly thrilled. With control over this flame-swallowing technique, especially using the sacred flame as its foundation, the power boost would be astounding. The demon-suppressing treasure of the Ghost Realm has been controlled by the Soul Devourer Lord for nearly a century, and this flame-swallowing technique, I recall, is a clan treasure from a tribe called the Devouring Spirit Clan in the Great Thousand Worlds. The elderly voice of the Devourer of Souls echoed in Xiao Yan's mind, as if recalling some past events. Devouring Spirit Clan? Xiao Yan was surprised. He clearly remembered that there was also a Devouring Spirit Clan on the Duan Qi continent. The Devouring Spirit Clan, the Devouring Spirit King, and the void-swallowing flame resurfaced in Xiao Yan's mind. Your so-called Devouring Spirit Clan on the Duan Qi continent is merely a branch. The true Devouring Spirit Clan in the Great Thousand Worlds holds an esteemed position. Their king can devour all things in an instant. Although they contributed greatly during the Heavenly Earth War, after the war, their terrifying ability to devour all things made many powerful figures in the Great Thousand Worlds wary, and they were secretly driven out. This flame-swallowing technique is one of the treasures passed down from the Devouring Spirit Clan. Although it isn't of a high tier, its value is extraordinary, which is why the Devouring Spirit Clan venerates it as a clan treasure, explained the Devourer of Souls. Could the Tuasha Ancient Emperor be connected to the Devouring Spirit Clan? Suddenly, Xiao Yan thought of something and muttered. Based on the information left by the Tuasha Ancient Emperor, Xiao Yan vaguely felt there might be a link between the two. Tuasha Ancient Emperor? The Devourer of Souls seemed to remember something, murmuring to himself. "Master, do you know?" Xiao Yan asked excitedly. He was one of the peak experts of the Great Thousand Worlds. The Devourer of Souls said softly. He controlled 5 sacred flames, and after using the flame-swallowing technique, he could truly stand at the peak of the Great Thousand Worlds. A loud voice, like the toll of a great bell, rang out. 5 sacred flames? Xiao Yan said, a bit shocked. The Tuasha ancient emperor's power is extraordinary, and he is respected by countless people. However, from the information I've gathered, he is also from the Duan continent, and it seems he's not human. The Devourer of Souls shook his head and said, it should be true. Listening to the Devourer of Souls' words, Xiao Yan slowly nodded. Even I would be no match for that guy. But it seems he has a close relationship with the Devouring Spirit clan. After the last heavenly war, the Devouring Spirit clan vanished, and he hasn't been seen since. I don't know if he perished or something else happened. The Devourer of Souls shook his head, then chose not to continue. Never mind, let's just get the 10,000 points needed for the exchange first. Xiao Yan's gaze fixed on the fiery red scroll with the flame-swallowing technique. He licked his lips and smiled. Whoosh! After a moment, Xiao Yan left the space within the demon-suppressing stone and returned to the demon-suppressing prison. Big brother, how did it go? As Xiao Yan disappeared earlier, Xiao Gui had been filled with immense panic. However, Xiao Gui's senses were sharp, so nothing went wrong. No problem. But I'm afraid things won't be peaceful for a while. Xiao Yan clapped his hands and laughed. The place they were in was mostly filled with low-level evil entities. Even the slightly stronger Earth-class evil entities were few and far between. In such circumstances, gathering 10,000 points was naturally a daunting task. We need to move closer to the center. The evil entities there are stronger, but the points will also be higher, Xiao Yan muttered as he looked at the demon-suppressing prison surrounded by swirling demonic energy. Let's go. As soon as he spoke, the two of them slowly got up and headed toward the center. Hee. Isn't that the human guy the master ordered us to capture? I remember his name is Xiao Yan, a mere early 3-star Docian. He's waiting to die. Just as Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui moved deeper into the demon-suppressing prison, they were already being secretly watched. Whom! The demon-suppressing prison, thick with demonic energy, was filled with an overwhelming presence of evil. As the demonic energy slithered around, it made the entire prison feel like a hellish, twisted realm. Anyone who casually sensed its aura would immediately feel uneasy, unsettling the hearts of the many powerful participants who entered the prison for the competition. Big brother. As Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui moved deeper into the prison, they didn't encounter any powerful evil entities. At most, there were a few mid to late 3-star Docian evil entities. Even now, Xiao Yan's points had barely reached 200. Though 200 points wasn't a small amount, it was still far from enough to exchange for the flame-swallowing technique. These points really aren't easy to gather. After defeating another evil entity, Xiao Yan saw the numbers on the demon-suppressing stone jump to 210, and he sighed. The place they were in seemed to be at the very edge of the demon-suppressing prison, where most of the evil entities were weak. As a result, collecting points was exceedingly slow. As for Xiao Gui, he had no real need for points, so he gave all of his to Xiao Yan. Over there. Seems like something's up? Suddenly, Xiao Gui's body was enveloped in ghostly energy, and he frowned as he looked at a sinister lake a few hundred meters away. There's something there. Xiao Yan didn't understand why, but although Xiao Gui had the strength of a mid-3-star Docian, he had no offensive power. Moreover, Xiao Gui had no memory of things beyond the ferocious soul domain, as if he had amnesia. So, throughout the journey, Xiao Yan had to look after him. However, Xiao Yan guessed that Xiao Gui's memories beyond the ferocious soul domain were sealed by some powerful figures. He couldn't break that seal for now. Xiao Yan speculated that it was likely a protective measure taken by his mother's allies to prevent Xiao Gui from being hunted by the high-ranking forces of the ferocious soul domain. Otherwise, with Xiao Gui's mother's noble status, Xiao Gui would not have been so easily exiled. Rip. Let's go check it out. A cold wind swept by, carrying with it the pervasive demonic energy, casting the surface of the lake into a terrifying, eerie scene. as if some dreadful creature was about to emerge. Xiao Yan spoke as they moved toward the lake. As soon as his voice fell, the two of them swiftly moved like shadows toward the lake. Die! As the two of them approached the water's surface, a voice filled with an evil aura suddenly echoed, followed by the emergence of dozens of monstrous waves from beneath the water. A massive, blood-colored energy hand surged upward, aiming directly at Xiao Yan's crown. Swish! It was quick. Xiao Yan spun around just in time to dodge the seemingly powerful strike. Creak! Although he avoided the deadly blood-colored energy hand, the overflowing energy brushed against the corner of Xiao Yan's clothes, instantly turning the fabric to dust. Big brother, are you all right? Xiao Gue hurriedly asked. I'm fine. There seems to be something interesting here, Xiao Yan replied with a slight smile, his gaze fixed on the water below. Something seemed to be moving rapidly beneath the surface. Come out! Xiao Yan roared, and with a wave of scorching flames, the entire lake was soon enveloped. Whoosh! As Xiao Yan made his move, a huge hole slowly appeared on the water's surface, and a figure resembling a human slowly stood before them. Human? Xiao Yan stared in surprise, clearly taken aback. The figure's aura was not like the beings from the demon-suppressing prison. Instead, it was filled with the vitality of a human, albeit with a massive water attribute hidden within. Hehe, sharp nose. The man, who had just emerged from beneath the water's surface, grinned at Xiao Yan. What appeared before Xiao Yan was a slender-faced man, his age similar to Xiao Yan's. Dressed in a blue robe, he radiated a sharp, intimidating aura. More importantly, this man's strength was astonishing. He had reached the level of late 3-star Do Xian. This guy's aura seems somewhat familiar? Xiao Yan muttered to himself as he observed the figure that had emerged from the lake. It felt as though he had encountered this energy before. This aura, it's similar to those I encountered when I first arrived in the Dust Sea, isn't it? In the next moment, Xiao Yan's powerful soul perception detected something, and he exclaimed in surprise. Members of the Hidden Soul Society? Xiao Yan's gaze became wary as he slowly spoke. Didn't expect you to have a bit of skill. The man casually glanced at Xiao Yan, just as he was about to take action, when his eyes shifted to Xiao Gue. An odd aura radiated from him. Wum, wum, wum. What are those guys summoning me for? Forget it. I'll deal with you next time, the man said, his body suddenly flashing with some sort of energy, clearly signaling for reinforcements. Then, his entire body was engulfed by a wave of water, indicating he was preparing to escape. Not so fast. Seeing this, Xiao Yan transformed into a fire spirit and, with overwhelming fiery power, launched an attack at the man. Heh, if I didn't have urgent matters to attend to, you'd be my defeated opponent by now. I'll tell you this, those powerful individuals from the eastern continent you're familiar with seem to be surrounded by forces from the western continent. If you don't go quickly, I'm afraid. By the way, I'm Mou, one of the 4 elites of the Hidden Soul Society. After finishing his words, Mou instantly disappeared. This bastard. Xiao Gue, let's go. Xiao Yan cursed under his breath at the disappearing Mou, then immediately led Xiao Gue toward a certain area within the demon-suppressing prison. Xiao Yan and Duan Qi Fei shared a special connection due to their bond with the Thunder Lord's power. Because of this connection, Xiao Yan was able to sense Duan Qi Fei's position. At this moment, he noticed that her aura seemed to be growing weaker. As soon as they spoke, they immediately rushed toward a certain area of the demon-suppressing prison. Why would the Hidden Soul Society enter the demon-suppressing prison? Are they planning something? And there seems to be the presence of other powerful beings here as well? Soul Sovereign experts from the Soul Hall? It seems everyone is focused on the Poison Fiend Demon Queen. Fine, this time. I'll bring this little one along and show him what a true extraterritorial evil clan expert is like. Maybe we can even wipe out the Poison Fiend Demon Queen. Heh. Since Mou had vanished, the Devourer of Souls seemed to have noticed something that others might not, laughing with ill intent. As Xiao Yan and Xiao Gue hurried toward a specific area within the demon-suppressing prison, dramatic scenes unfolded around them. Sister Fair, we're surrounded by so many powerful enemies. If this keeps up, it will be impossible for us to hold on. Behind a hidden rock in a dark rainforest, several powerful figures from the eastern continent appeared, including Duan Qi Fei, Mu Gu, the Yu sisters, and Lu Qingyan, 6 people in total. The moment they entered the demon-suppressing prison, these people split up from Xiao Yan and the others. Later, when they found some valuable evil entities and intended to kill them for points, they were ambushed by pursuers from Xi'an Pavilion. It seemed that Xi'an Pavilion had allied with other forces, pressing them relentlessly along the way. However, they never struck directly, as though waiting for something. We can't keep going like this. I'll step forward and hold them off. You all should act according to the situation. As long as we can break out of their encirclement, we will be fine, said Duan Qi Fei, her delicate brow furrowing. She knew that only by leading the charge herself could the others have a chance of escape. Otherwise, their situation would grow even worse. No, Sister Fei, you can't go. Those from Xi'an Pavilion likely have other powerful figures hiding in the shadows. And from what I gather, they haven't attacked because they seem to be waiting for something. Lu Qing analyzed, noticing the confused gazes from the others. Lu Qing had many hidden cards up her sleeve, but she didn't want to reveal them too soon, which was why she was caught in such a situation. Waiting for what? The Yu sisters shook their heads. Waiting for Xiao Yan? Yunqi suddenly exclaimed, obviously recalling the scene from the spaceship involving Mu Shi that everyone knew about. That seems to be the only possibility. Mu Gu slowly stood up, though his injuries were severe. It was clear he had taken many blows while covering the others' retreat. Xiao Yan, don't fall into their trap, the others murmured inwardly, praying for him. They focused on recovering their Do Qi, preparing to fight Xi'an Pavilion to the death. Elsewhere, outside the rainforest, several figures lurked. Mu Shi, what are you doing? One man asked. These people from Eastern Continent are like pawns in our hands. Why not just capture them all at once? Another said with a sinister smile, his eyes gleaming lecherously. Besides, these might be the strongest individuals from the Eastern Continent. With their alluring figures, if we defeat and subjugate them, Eastern Continent's pride will be shattered, the man added, eyeing the women with an unpleasant glint. I have no interest in these girls. We'll use them as bait to lure Xiao Yan out, and then we'll work together to capture him. Once that's done, they're all yours, Mu Shi replied, observing the group's movements from the rainforest. Since that's the case, I'll wish us a successful cooperation in advance. The 2 men grinned, clearly pleased by the thought of those beautiful girls from Eastern Continent becoming their playthings. After a brief silence, Mu Shi spoke again. Xiao Yan still hasn't shown up. It looks like we need to take more drastic measures. Then let's make them suffer a bit. Although, it's a shame to damage such flowers, one of the black-robed figures said with a hint of reluctance. As the 3 figures disappeared, they headed toward the hiding place of the Eastern Continent experts. They're coming, be careful. Yunqi shouted urgently from behind the rocks. Among the 6, only Mu Gu was at the mid-3-star Do Xian level. The others were still at the early 3-star Do Xian stage, and facing Mu she would be tough enough, let alone the 2 even stronger figures lurking behind her. It looks like Xiao Yan won't care about your lives after all, Mu Shi sneered, her gaze cold as she and her companions reached the rocks. To think I once overestimated him, she continued, a mocking tone in her voice. So strong. Lu Qing's eyes narrowed in surprise. Mu Shi, who was at the mid-3-star Do Xian level before, had now reached the late 3-star Do Xian stage. Along with the 2 black-robed figures around her, this was a formidable lineup. 3 late 3-star Do Xian experts. Such power could easily dominate the demon-suppressing prison. I'll hold them off. You all run. Mu Gu forced himself to his feet, blood dripping from his wounds, as he summoned a brilliant fighting spirit. Still not giving up, huh? One of the black-robed figures mocked, moving to isolate Mu Gu. Now, let's see what you can do. Mu Shi's voice was filled with mockery. Since Xiao Yan is just a coward, you might as well die now. Remember, your fall is because of Xiao Yan's fear of death. She laughed maniacally. The other black-robed figure shook his head. This guy's acting strange. Attack. In an instant, Lu Qing and Duan Qi Fei exchanged a glance, nodded, and immediately unleashed their dazzling Do Qi, which spread out in an overwhelming force. Light attribute Do Qi? Thunder attribute Do Qi? A little thunder girl, quite explosive. I like it. The moment Duan Qi Fei and Lu Qing made their move, the black-robed man laughed. Since your brother likes it, then do as you wish, Mu Shi said, slowly retreating to one side, where she entangled Lu Qing, keeping her eyes on the remaining 3 girls to prevent them from escaping. Thunder sound. Duan Qi Fei naturally wouldn't be careless. With a playful huff, the power of thunder surged from her body, and a chant of Buddhist sounds began to resonate, scattering throughout the space. Om, Om, Om. The sacred sound caused the evil auras to suddenly retreat, and even as it neared the black-robed man, a powerful oppressive force swept through the area. Nice thunder attribute Do Qi, but unfortunately, the gap between us is too great, and your injuries are not insignificant. It's over. The black-robed man slowly floated into the air, and in the next moment, a brilliant red flame burst from his body, enveloping him entirely. It instantly transformed into a terrifying fire dragon, over 100 feet long, exuding a menacing aura, aimed directly at Duan Qi Fei, seeking to annihilate her. Power of a small heavenly seed. Duan Qi Fei saw this and gritted her teeth. A stubborn glint flashed in her beautiful eyes. Then, the thunder power within her surged even more, and a subtle gray force, almost invisible to the naked eye, quietly merged into her silver thunder. Die! The black-robed man shouted, and the brilliant fire dragon shot out like a startled beast, with a fierce destructive aura, charging straight toward Duan Qi Fei. Qi Fei retreat? Lu Qing shouted, her beautiful eyes flashing with shock. Too strong. Lu Qing exclaimed. It's too late. Duan Qi Fei, looking at the 3 women behind her, knew that if she retreated, the powerful attack would land on them instead. In the next instant, her Do core suddenly contracted, and even a streak of gray thunder energy began to manifest at her forehead. She smiled softly at the others and said, "Leave it to me." However, no one noticed that when the gray thunder energy entered Duan Qi Fei's body, her expression suddenly contorted in pain, but it passed as quickly as it came. Om, Om, Om. Suddenly, terrifying silver-gray thunderbolts surged from Duan Qi Fei's body, growing in intensity. As this thunder power swelled, the surrounding evil black mists trembled and scattered, as though they feared the overwhelming force emanating from the gray thunder. This thunder power, something's not right. Mu Shi, easily entangling Lu Qing, watched the battle between Duan Qi Fei and the black-robed man. She spoke slowly, a sense of unease rising within her. Her instinct and perception of danger made her realize that the thunder power from Duan Qi Fei made her feel unsettled. This was unusual, especially since Duan Qi Fei was only at the early 3-star Do Xian stage. Even if she had the power of a great heavenly seed, it shouldn't be enough to make her feel threatened. Don't try to put on a show. When I catch you, I'll make sure you wish you were never born. Ha ha ha. Though the black-robed man had sensed the mysterious gray thunder on Duan Qi Fei, he paid it no mind. He controlled the ferocious fire dragon surrounding him and sent it hurtling toward Duan Qi Fei. To him, the vast difference in power between them was something that could not be bridged by these strange forces. Thunder. Thunder binding immortal lock. Duan Qi Fei's beautiful face grew pale for a brief moment. Her body shot into the air, and the dazzling gray and silver thunder intertwined around her, eventually forming a thunder lock in the air. A powerful binding formation made of gray and silver lightning. Within the silver-gray thunder lock were intricate, mesmerizing patterns, flickering in and out of sight, exuding a terrifying power capable of restraining anything. Flaming Demon Dragon. Attack? The black-robed man snorted coldly. The fiery aura around him grew more dazzling, and with a command, the ferocious fire dragon shot toward Duan Qi Fei with unstoppable momentum. Damn it! Mugu, seeing this, coldly snorted and attempted to break through the other black-robed man's obstruction to help Duan Qi Fei, but was immediately entangled in battle again. "Your opponent is me?" The other black-robed man sneered, and the fight resumed. Boom! The ferocious fire dragon shot straight from the ground toward the sky. Meanwhile, Duan Qi Fei's face turned pale as she controlled the silver-gray thunderlock. Her beautiful eyes flashed with weakness as her jade hand clenched fiercely at the oncoming fire dragon. Crash! At her command, the silver-gray lock seemed to come to life. In a few breaths, it easily bound the fire dragon, rendering it immobile. Early 3-star Dosian, indeed very strong. But don't underestimate me. Flame ripples, explode for me. In the next moment, the man in the black robe looked at the vicious fire dragon, entangled and falling into the lower wind, his lips curling into a strange smile once again. Damn, this is bad. Duan Qi Fei, who had already been injured from covering the retreat of the main force, now forced herself to trigger the reincarnation wave to attack the enemy. Her face turned pale, and her breath was unsteady. When the black-robed man's voice fell, her beautiful eyes tightened, a sense of danger rising in her heart. "Little beauty, it's over." The black-robed man's insane laughter echoed like that of a demon, and the vicious fire dragon, wrapped in silver-gray thunder shackles, suddenly expanded and then contracted. Whoosh! Scorching flame ripples spread suddenly from the sky. Duan Qi Fei was extremely close to the explosion center. With such a powerful blast, if she didn't die, she would be severely wounded. Fairsis! Several urgent calls rang out from all directions, and thus, Lu Qing and Mu Ji's attacks became even more intense. Even the Yu family sisters below, Yun Qi and Yu Jia, changed their breathing patterns and hurriedly intervened. Next time, don't do something so dangerous. The moment the vicious fire dragon finished expanding and the scorching ripples had just spread, the incredibly intense wave of heat seemed to vanish in an instant, restoring the space to calm. At the same time, Duan Qi Fei gently touched the obscure pattern on her forehead, as if trying to unleash its power to resolve her crisis, but was stopped by a massive hand. In situations like this, someone has to step up. Duan Qi Fei sensed the familiar aura and immediately stopped trying to release the reincarnation power. At that moment, she was weak, falling in free fall, but moments later, a powerful arm caught her, holding her gently. Her beautiful eyes slightly closed, her lips parted softly, feeling warmth in her heart. "As long as I'm here, don't use that thing." The mysterious figure holding Duan Qi Fei sent a gentle force through his body into hers, gradually speaking with undeniable authority. Duan Qi Fei nodded slowly, feeling that with this person by her side, everything around her seemed to quiet down. "Let's go. I'll make sure these guys never return." Within a few breaths, the two of them landed on the ground, and the mysterious figure slowly set Duan Qi Fei down. They are strong, 3-star Dosian late stage, and from the Fire Lion sect of the Western continent. Duan Qi Fei, now recovering from her weakness, immediately warned, "Don't worry. Anyone who dares to hurt our Eastern continent people, even those from the Northern continent, won't escape." At that moment, a figure carrying a heavy ruler appeared in the group's sight, followed by an extremely arrogant voice. "Xiao Yan, you're finally here." The moment Mu Shi, entangled with Lu Qing, saw this, her gaze turned vicious. If Xiao Yan hadn't snatched the human-ghost hybrid from her hands, she would never have been blamed by the sect's elders. This was all because of Xiao Yan. Now that she had the pavilion's ultimate treasure, Xiao Yan had no way out. Xiao Yan. Below, Lu Qing and the others also disengaged from their opponents and gathered together. "Just watch, no need to intervene. Xiao Gui, stay alert." Xiao Yan casually glanced at the scene and found that the three people in front of him were all at the 3-star Dosian late stage, then slowly smiled. Xiao Gui nodded slowly. No one knew when Xiao Gui had silently appeared behind them. "Big-mouthed kid, be careful not to slip in the gutter." The two black-robed figures stopped their attacks simultaneously and moved to Mu Shi's side, sneering. "You two go first. I'll keep an eye on the other experts." Mu Shi grinned ominously. "Mu Shi, don't forget the reward you promised us." The two black-robed figures didn't hesitate, smiling. Don't worry once it's done. I won't treat you unfairly. At the same time, Mu Shi smiled as well. Xiao Yan was no easy opponent, but these two black-robed figures were also strong members of the Fire Lion sect. It was great to wear Xiao Yan down with their strength. After all, Mu Shi felt that using the pavilion's ultimate treasure on just Xiao Yan was a bit excessive. Let's fight together. Otherwise, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Xiao Yan took a few steps forward and spoke calmly. Though Xiao Yan knew the two of them had some depth to their 3-star Do Xian late-stage power, he was eager to test his current limits. Are you Xiao Yan, the one causing a stir on the eastern continent? Today, let us meet and show you what it truly means. There's always someone stronger, and there's always a higher realm. In an instant, the two figures in black robes sneered coldly. Big brother, defend for me, I'll handle this. The figure who had just attacked Duan Qi Fei spoke. The two black-robed figures were disciples of the Fire Lion sect from the western continent. The older one, named Huali, was strict and steady by nature, while the younger one, Huayu, had a volatile temper. However, both were at the late 3-star Do Xian level. Huayu was the one who had just attacked Duan Qi Fei. Whoosh! The black robes on both figures vanished instantly, revealing their true appearance. Huali, the senior disciple, had several hideous scars across his face, clearly a result of many battles. Huayu, the younger disciple, had a thin, emaciated face, his eyes filled with resentment as he glared at Xiao Yan. If it hadn't been for Xiao Yan, he would have already subdued Duan Qi Fei. Fire attribute, huh? Xiao Yan murmured. Throwing yourself into the trap, he added. Without moving, Xiao Yan's soul power had already spread throughout the space, and before the two could strike, their attacks were easily pierced by Xiao Yan's gaze. Incompetent fools, take this. Huayu, taking the lead, roared. Bring it on, Xiao Yan replied with a faint smile, fully alert. The gap between early 3-star Do Xian and late 3-star Do Xian was significant, but with his deep fire attribute affinity, the distance was narrowed. Fire Lion Palm. Huayu's palm flickered with overwhelming fire Do Qi as he leaped forward and struck at Xiao Yan. Thud. The two seemingly simple strikes caused both of them to recoil in surprise. This Xiao Yan's fire attribute energy is so dense, he must have a heavenly seed. I can't underestimate him, Huayu muttered to himself as he stepped back. It seems Huali doesn't intend to make a move. Perhaps he wants Huayu to test his abilities? Xiao Yan thought to himself, already formulating a plan to finish the battle quickly. Prolonging it would only work against him. Take another strike. Fire Lion roar. After a brief pause, Huayu's fire attribute energy gathered at his throat, his expression turning strange. Waves of scorching fire energy began to radiate from his throat as he attempted to lock onto Xiao Yan. What is this, a sound wave attack? Xiao Yan was slightly surprised, but after the previous palm clash, he didn't underestimate the attack. Brilliant flames began to spread from his body, though he remained curious about Huayu's move. Roar, roar, roar. Huayu suddenly inhaled deeply, and countless flames surged into his throat, as though he was preparing a powerful attack. What's he doing? Xiao Yan stayed alert, both his gaze and soul power focused, ready to strike at the slightest anomaly. Boom! Soon, a deafening roar erupted from Huayu's mouth, accompanied by a terrifying sound wave attack. The invisible sound waves carried an intense, scorching heat. Combining sound waves with firepower, the Fire Lion sect certainly has some tricks up its sleeve. Xiao Yan watched with a smile, but the fierce sound wave and fire energy sent a chilling sensation through him. Yellow Spring's Wrath. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan gathered his soul power into a dazzling blast and, taking advantage of Huayu's momentary lapse in focus, launched a devastating soul attack. Huayu, be careful. Huali, who had been guarding Huayu since the start, now showed a tense expression, realizing that Xiao Yan's move was unexpected. Clearly, he hadn't planned to act just yet, likely wanting to test Huayu's abilities. Too late. Xiao Yan wasn't about to give them any opportunity. Despite their proficiency with fire attribute Do Qi, their soul power was weak, and they were quickly overwhelmed by Xiao Yan's attack. Thud. Huayu, still in the middle of executing his fire lion roar, suddenly froze, his eyes narrowing as the sound wave dissipated, and he collapsed unconscious. Xiao Yan's soul attack had struck his soul origin, and even when he awoke, it would be a heavy burden. You little brat, what did you do? Originally, he had just wanted to send Huayu to challenge Xiao Yan, hoping it would help temper him. If Huayu failed, he would step in himself. However, who would have thought that Huayu was knocked unconscious with a single strike from Xiao Yan? This was something even Huorli hadn't anticipated. This too weak, Xiao Yan said, rolling his eyes in frustration. Up until now, he had rarely used the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath technique, as it was of a lower level. However, Xiao Yan had underestimated the power of his own soul force and overestimated the soul power of Huayu from the Fire Lion sect. A single soul attack was enough to knock the slightly weaker Huayu out. Little brat, you will pay for this. Take this. In the next moment, Hua Li's pupils were filled with blazing fury as he stared at Xiao Yan. Finally ready to go all out, are we? Xiao Yan's demeanor instantly became more cautious, his entire aura brimming with alertness. I'll make you understand the difference. The gap between early 3-star Docian and late 3-star Docian. Moreover, the difference between the Eastern continent and Western continent is something you can't even begin to imagine. Hua Li's aura surged, his fighting spirit skyrocketing in an instant. Enough with the nonsense. Xiao Yan snorted coldly, not willing to waste time on words with this guy. Fire Lion's might? The next moment, Hua Li stopped talking and summoned a blinding flame from his body. Under the shocked gazes of everyone, he suddenly bit his finger, and a drop of fresh blood fell onto the fiery red flames. This Fire Lion sect is interesting, Xiao Yan said with a faint smile. Though his own strength was lacking, the intensity of his fire attribute was still impressive. Watching Huorli's methods, Xiao Yan couldn't help but laugh. For Xiao Yan, the stronger the opponent, the better the opportunity for him to grow. With my blood, I summon my sect's soul. Ancient Fire Lion. As Hua Li invoked the powerful Fire Lion, the flames and blood swirling around him, he made an unusual gesture as if holding up the sky. His expression grew solemn, and a rare, eerie smile spread across his face. These two from the Fire Lion sect are truly pathetic. A mere early 3-star Docian, and he's already forced to use his sect's ultimate technique. From not far away, Mu Shi watched as Huayu was defeated in an instant and Hua Li, driven mad, summoned the ancient Fire Lion. He couldn't help but curse under his breath. He never expected that despite Xiao Yan's relatively weak outward appearance, when it came to actual combat, Xiao Yan's true combat power was on par with, or even stronger than late 3-star Docian experts. Xiao Yan is truly a freak, Mugu muttered, feeling embarrassed. His strength at the early 3-star Docian stage, and yet he can deal with 2 late 3-star Docian experts at the same time. Truly humiliating. This guy is really getting stronger and stronger. The sacred flame matter should be left aside. Once the 4 continents competition is over, I should return as well, Lu Qing said, her eyes flickering as she shook her head. Little brat, die. Hua Li's pupils turned crimson as the flames around him slowly transformed into a massive, menacing Fire Lion. The Fire Lion's entire body was made of fiery energy, bathed in crimson flames. Its blood-red eyes locked onto Xiao Yan, exuding a dominating presence that made the surrounding evil energy retreat. A fire energy creature formed from flame and blood? Xiao Yan's eyes grew serious as he observed the ancient Fire Lion. Even he could sense the sharp, overwhelming aura of fire that emanated from it. This was no easy opponent. Ancient Fire Lion, kill him, Hua Li shouted, his voice carrying a tremendous weight. Roar. The ancient Fire Lion seemed to have some sentience. Upon hearing Hua Li's command, it raised its head, engulfed in fiery red flames, and locked its gaze on Xiao Yan. What was strange was that, as the Fire Lion's eyes fixed on him, Xiao Yan felt a cold chill run through his body. In the next moment, the ancient Fire Lion moved effortlessly, stepping through the void, appearing beside Xiao Yan in an instant. Boom, boom, boom. The lion raised its massive paw and struck at Xiao Yan's head. Its seemingly simple strike carried enough force to crush mountains. Such a powerful fire creature, Xiao Yan quickly dodged the lion's strike, but the surrounding space was torn apart by the force. If that powerful blow had connected, the outcome would have been just as catastrophic as the shattered void. Whum, whum, whum. Xiao Yan knew this place wasn't safe, so he immediately cast the space shift seal, and in the next moment, he appeared hundreds of meters away. Little brat, where do you think you're going? Boom. No matter how fast Xiao Yan ran, it seemed that the ancient fire lion had already locked onto his aura. In the next moment, its blazing fur transformed into a sky full of shooting stars, raining down toward Xiao Yan. A flame creature? It looks like I'll have to use that thing. As Xiao Yan kept running, he muttered to himself. Bloodthirsty energy and sealing power surged within him, quickly gathering and condensing. Why is this guy still running? Huali, don't give this brat a chance. He's full of tricks. The next moment, Mu Shi coldly snorted at Huali. Kid, it's over. Take your regrets with you to hell. With Mu Shi's voice, Huali no longer hesitated. Brilliant do qi poured into the ancient fire lion's body, causing its aura to surge once more. Almost there. I'll send you a little gift too. Soul-devouring blood monument, suppress him. Slowly, a smile appeared on Xiao Yan's face. With a flick of his hand, a streak of bloody energy shot toward the ancient fire lion. The blood-colored energy emerged, bringing with it an overwhelming force of confinement. The evil aura that permeated the entire space was swiftly suppressed. The blood-colored energy turned into massive stone tablets, each one imbued with a strange sealing power. The air grew thick with a bloody, domineering aura, as if it were descending from the heavens, quickly surrounding the ancient fire lion. Not good. Ancient fire lion, get out of there. Hua Li's sharp eyes easily noticed the powerful sealing force on the stone tablets. He immediately shouted. He knew that Xiao Yan was using a sealing do skill. If the ancient fire lion was trapped by the seal, even someone as strong as it would be temporarily immobilized. At that point, none of them would stand a chance against Xiao Yan. Dozens of soul-devouring blood monuments appeared, completely surrounding the ancient fire lion. The power of the seal and the bloodthirsty aura emitted from the tablets filled the air, sealing off any retreat for the beast before it could react. Roar! The ancient fire lion roared angrily, seeing the dozens of mysterious stone tablets surrounding it. Whoosh! Moments later, the ancient fire lion raised its fiery claws and struck at the stone tablets. Its attack was so powerful that it could easily annihilate a mid-3-star Do Xian expert. Though the strike appeared mighty, it didn't cause a single ripple in the energy around the stone tablets. In fact, the flames on the ancient fire lion's body suddenly weakened, and its strength was rapidly suppressed to the level of a mid-3-star Do Xian, with further pressure mounting on it. Damn it! I'll fight you to the end. Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, Hua Li's flames erupted, forming into a sharp flame giant sword that shot toward Xiao Yan. He knew that without the ancient fire lion's help, he alone couldn't defeat Xiao Yan. Bang! 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 Xiao Yan's eyes slowly closed, and once again, the stone tablets appeared around Huali, completely trapping him in place. Damn it! Seeing this, Mu Shi let out a cold snort. Without waiting for Xiao Yan to make a move, she immediately turned and fled. Suppress him. Watching Mu Shi flee in an instant, Xiao Yan shook his head. With a sudden squeeze of his hand, the ancient fire lion was sealed away, and Hua Li's fierce aura was suppressed, leaving him weak. Hua Li had originally been immensely powerful, but after the attack on Huayu, he had been driven into a frenzy. He had summoned the ancient fire lion at great cost, expending too much do qi, which made it easy for Xiao Yan to suppress him. This guy, truly powerful.